I went and talked to a bunch of people, and I really came to realize sort of four things in that moment in time when you reflect going forward. And the four things in no order were: one, I'd had the best management team that I'd ever had. And I'd realized in the business that we were in the service business, those management team members were going to start to recycle about every 2 years because they needed to get on to different opportunities for them to continue to grow. And I didn't want that to be the case. A, because I didn't want to see them go on to something else, not because I didn't want to hold them back, but they'd worked so hard for us that I thought we could come up with a different solution. And number two, I didn't want to be a sole owner having to recycle and recruit management teams every 2 to 3 years and then figure out what that meant for our business and our brand. So that was sort of pillar number one. The second pillar was I started to really sort of ask myself about the business I was in. Did I want to do it for the rest of my life? And, I got a lot of perspective of don't be an old person in a young person's game. People would say to me, hey, at the certain point when your level of frustration in the business you run even comes close to your level of passion in the business you run. And I was getting close. I wasn't totally there, right? But I was getting to the point where my passion for selling, a bottle of brown cola that had a red label versus a blue label, it wasn't firing me up anymore. And then, there were sort of really two other pieces on a personal front. One was somebody gave me amazing perspective, which was, hey, look, at the time my kids, John, were probably 6 and 8-ish.
Okay.
And they said, hey, look, if I could do it all over again, I would sell my business 50% sooner for 25% less money. So I could spend that chapter of time with more freedom with my kids to build that relationship. Because when they're 16, 17, 18, 20, you can't build that relationship as you can when they're that age. And so that really, really impacted me, right? And I sort of say this to people all the time, which is it's literally that math, right? Sell 50% sooner for 25% more if you want that window of time with your kids. And so that really, really, really stuck with me. And then the other one based on, I really came from a background where my family had nothing. This ability to say, hey, should you take chips off the table? Should you allow your kids to go to any school you want? I just talked to enough people who said, hey, I hung on too long. I didn't do it the right way. And so we decided, Beth and I, that we try and find a way to either de-risk the company, sell the company, or go through some sort of process to try and accomplish all four of those things.